Hello and welcome to the beginning of the Swindon Town Swoodly Poopers' first game of their Premier League season. You'll see some new faces, including a second bald person in our squad today. You'll have to name these people as we go, as we get to know them together. But we've got a couple new people in the center of midfield, and also a new center back. Yeah, so you may see Caceres there, and who else is new? Merrick, we already know his name, and K. Fahey, or Fahy. I don't know how to say his name, but you'll figure it out. I'm going to talk today about a funny thing that happened to me, thanks to a nerd fighter. So here's what happened. And this is I have to kind of say this as full disclosure because I don't know if you guys know this, but Hank and I have these like business principles. Maybe someday in a video I'll talk about the Hank and John business principles of how we run Vlogbrothers and also the rest of our lives, like the FTBA records and other stuff that we do. Ball John Green was offsides there. He is an embarrassment to his family and his community. Come on, Ball John Green, you're better than that. But we have these business principles. Among the business principles is that we do not accept gifts unless we acknowledge that we have accepted them when they are related to our career. So first off, let me tell you that you may remember that in a recent Swindon Town Swoodly Poopers video, I named my top 5 television shows, one of which was House Hunters International. Well, it turns out that a nerd fighter's mom works for HGTV. Other John Green with a goal! Oh, he's a finisher. Oh, he used to be John Bennett, but now he's John Green because he married his fellow forward, and they make magic together. Beautiful stuff. Yes. I almost sang, but I didn't sing. If he gets another goal, I will definitely sing. You're going to hear me sing. This is great. We're doing all right in the Premier League. Wigan is not, of course, one of the stronger clubs in the Premier League, but still, we beat Chelsea. This nerd fighter's mom works at HGTV and sent me some amazing House Hunters International gear, including a bathrobe, which I wrapped up and gave to my wife for Christmas. So first off, thank you. Second off, that has nothing to do with the topic of today's video, which is my top 5 shows currently on HGTV. I just thought it would be funny to acknowledge that and then, yeah, clearly be swayed by the bathrobe. But I do genuinely, even before they gave me a bathrobe, like, oh, Fitz Hall doesn't foul people. That's not possible. You just named an impossibility. Oh boy, yes, great punch. That's the new keeper, still without a name, but he'll have a name. You guys are so good at coming up with names, I believe. Oh boy. Yeah, this is a moment to clear it. Okay, so my number 1 show is definitely House Hunters International. My number 2 show is regular House Hunters, non-international. Those shows are great because you get to imagine what it's like to live someone else's. Oh boy, I need you, keeper. Yes, he's brilliant. I love this guy. You get to imagine what it's like to live other lives without actually having to live them. And actually moving, for anyone who's ever done it, is a huge pain, and it's not a lot of fun. But fantasizing about moving is like the number 1 feature of adulthood. I remember when I was a kid, my dad, everywhere we would go, like we'd go on a vacation somewhere, and my dad, I tried to hit Y, but I missed it. We would go on vacation somewhere, and my dad would, instead of like doing touristy things, he would just want to tour neighborhoods to find out which one he wanted to live in. That was like his hobby, was going around the world and fantasizing about moving places. And I used to think this, I thought it was so awful. And oh boy, I'm not very good at defense. Oh geez. Not good. So he would go around and like look at look at houses and get books with housing information, and now he looks on the internet about housing information. My parents finally love where they live, so they've stopped doing this. But amusingly, I have taken over for doing this from my dad, and I do it constantly. I'm the worst about it. and you know, my wife is like bald John Green, no. My wife is consistently embarrassed because everywhere we go, I ask people how much their houses cost and if they like living there. And I look at all the like modernist architecture somewhere and I love it. Like we were recently in Miami, a place I have absolutely no desire to live, no offense, Miamians. And, but I kept doing it. Anyway, House Hunters is a way of indulging that passion without costing myself a lot of money and time. So I like both House Hunters International and House Hunters. House Hunter International is a little better for me because, you know, I secretly fantasize about living abroad and having health care and stuff. It just seems there's something romantic about the idea of, you know, healthcare being available to all people, regardless of whether they have pre-existing conditions. I'm so old-fashioned in that respect. So that's number 1 and 2. Number 3, Holmes on Holmes. You ever seen that show? It's great. There's a guy. His name is Holmes, and he basically like does the home inspection you should have done and finds all the things that are wrong with your house and fixes them because he's nice, and he's also really ruggedly good-looking in the manner of HGTV hosts. Yeah, so I think that show might be targeted at the ladies, but whatever. I love it. So that's my number 3 pick. There used to be a lot of shows on HGTV like what you get for the money that were just clear fantasy-driven real estate things, like pre-real estate flop when I started watching HGTV, which was in 2006. There used to be a lot of shows about that, and I loved all of those. Anyway, we're going to get to my last 2 coming up. So those are my 1, 2, and 3 HGTV shows. Then there's this. They have this show, and I'm not going to remember the name of it, but they have this show that. Oh, I'm so bad. Okay. They have this show where they fix up a whole block. You know, like they do a lot of exterior work. I think it's called Curb Appeal, but it's the neighborhood version of Curb Appeal. It's really enjoyable because you get to see communities working together, and you forget. I mean, one of the weird things about being a person is that it's really difficult to imagine what it's like to be other people, right? I mean, that's like one of the core problems is empathy, and you forget that everyone lives in a neighborhood and that your neighborhood isn't the only neighborhood, and it's fun to see a kind of the life of a neighborhood that's different from yours, including sometimes the tensions in that neighborhood. I really enjoy seeing that. I keep trying to hit the Y button, but I can't find it on my controller. There's one size fits all. He's indomitable. And then another Y button, please, and then the Y button. Yes! That's what I meant to do the whole time. Oh. Then he scores! What? That's the best goal the Swindon Town Swoodly Poopers have ever scored! Y button, Y button, Y button, other John Green, goal! Oh, John Green's, bald and other John Greens. They love each other and they love our team. And then the last thing I'm going to pick is one of my wife's favorite shows, and I watch it with her because, you know, we're married. And it's called Design Star. Have you seen this? I don't know if any of you, none of you watch HGTV, of course, because none of you, I'm the oldest person currently watching this video. Other John Green, no. Bald John Green, yes, 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 yes. Bald John Green, yes. Oh, yes. This is just, I mean, we're dominating. We might have to go up a skill level. It's insane. Anyway, Design Star is like one of those reality shows where you compete to have a reality show. The winner gets to continue being on television, and the losers don't. That's basically how it works. Generally, I don't like those shows. I don't know if you guys know this, but Hank and I have like this long-standing desire not to be on television, and we've turned down every opportunity we've ever had to be on television because, oh my goodness, this bald guy's gonna score. It's his first goal as a Swoodly Pooper, Merrick! Oh, and he hugs bald John Green. It's just 2 bald men giving each other big hugs. That's great to see. Wow, this discovery of the Y button has just been, look at that. Thank you to my friend Kevin for explaining to me how the Y button works when it works, because I am gonna have to go up a skill level, I think. I'm too good. Even against Premier League opposition. I'm too good, and my boys are too talented. Oh, that would have been all right. So those are my top 5 HGTV shows. People whose parents work at other networks, I'd be happy to talk about your parents' job if if you send me a bathrobe from your channel. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. And but like that's the I mean so that's the weird thing about product placement. Now obviously no one paid me to talk about HGTV, and I wouldn't have accepted money to do it. And in fact, like that's the nice person who sent me that stuff didn't do it to get me to talk about HGTV. She did it because she thought it was sweet that I had, and then that her daughter had like thought she was cool and everything. So I want to the last thing that I want to talk about in talking about this is why I find product placement not troubling inherently, but why we don't do it. Why it's not possible to pay for product placement on Vlogbrothers or even on Hank Games. Although I guess FIFA is getting some product placement here, but they didn't pay me. So, oh, Ball John Green, such a finisher. I can't finish. Basically, here's what I find troubling about it. When you accept money, let's say you really genuinely like something. Like, let's say I genuinely like American Apparel T-shirts. But if I accept money or even like goods in kind to say that I genuinely like American Apparel T-shirts, the genuineness of my statement becomes questionable, right? Like that's what bothers me about it essentially, is that you can't. How do you know that I genuinely like American Apparel T-shirts? Because certainly my opinion of them is being affected by money in precisely the same way that my opinion of HGTV is in all likelihood affected by a bathrobe. Now, like, it's certainly not as affected as much, but when we like in the Nerd Fighter community is based on. I mean, our relationship with the Nerd Fighter community is strongly based on a sense of trust. That like you can trust us to be honest with you, and that in turn we can trust you to like be patient with us. And Ball John Green with a beautiful goal from Merrick, his new partner and teammate. I hope other John Green isn't getting jealous here, seeing two bald men embrace so amorously. Anyway, you can never, and that trust there is no price at which that mutual trust becomes for sale to me, because that trust is the core of the relationship. And so if I say, it may be that I like American Apparel T-shirts, but if I'm getting paid $5,000 to say it, that's going to, how do you know? How on some level do I know if I really like something or if I just like money? An offensive explosion today from the John Greens with an extra goal from Merrick. A beautiful day for the Swindon Town Swoodly Poopers. An extraordinary start to their first season in the Premier League, and we are going to raise up the skill level because they can't handle us. So Perry's happy. John Green, Nate Bennett is happy. Everybody's happy. Thanks for watching. Thanks again for the bathrobe, and best wishes.